And joining me now is Bill Taylor, former U.S. ambassador to Ukraine and vice president for Europe and Russia at the U.S. Institute of Peace. Ambassador, thank you so much for joining us. And what was your reaction to hearing President Biden publicly apologize on behalf of the U.S. for that delay in getting weapons to Ukraine?
So, Gabe, as you described, that 6-month delay was painful, costly. Soldiers died. Many soldiers died. They lost territory. So I was there 3 times during that 6 months during the delay, and each time I could feel the anxiety on the part of the Ukrainians rising. And in particular, again, as you said, the Russians took advantage. The Russians realized that the Americans were not providing the same kinds of weapons that they had been, and there was going to be some delay in the ammunition, and the Ukrainians couldn't defend themselves against the Russian attacks, in particular the drones and missiles. So the Russians took advantage of it, and it was very painful. So this was good that the president recognized exactly that problem.
You know, Ambassador, you just mentioned the anxiety of the Ukrainian people, but we've also been reporting about some of the friction between Kyiv and Washington over that pace of U.S. military assistance, as well as the tension with the current U.S. ambassador about her focus on anti-corruption reforms. What are you hearing on that front from the people in Ukraine? Is it not just anxiety, but is there real friction here?
Well, Gabe, there's always discussion, conversations. I wouldn't say friction. I would say, you know, there's emphasis. The emphasis clearly has to be on winning this war. They do have to win the peace, and that's the reform that needs to happen, and they need to do that now. But their first priority has to be, and frankly is, to win this war. So that is the discussion. Everybody understands. Everybody agrees with that. There's no disagreement on the U.S. side or on the Ukrainian side. On individual tactics, individual decisions, yeah, sure, there can be conversations. The Ukrainians know best how they're going to win this war, and they need our help. They definitely need our help. Once they have that, they can move forward, and I think you will see that movement has support from this administration and from the rest of NATO.
Ambassador, I want to talk to you about something that we're hearing will be a big topic of discussion next week at the G7 summit in Italy. Sources familiar with the planning tell me that one of the issues that will be talked about is this idea of funding Ukraine, the war in Ukraine, long term, essentially because they acknowledge that the political will here in the United States and really around the world has been dropping in that sense. So they're thinking of perhaps using the interest off of seized Russian assets and giving that to Ukraine, and perhaps in the form of some loan. Have you heard about that? What are your thoughts on that type of idea to help fund the war?
Absolutely. No, that makes perfect sense. Makes a whole lot of sense. At least take the interest from that $300 billion of Russian central bank reserves that are in Western banks. That $300 billion is frozen. And then the question is what to do with it, how to provide that to the Ukrainians. The first and likely first step is to do exactly what you said. Take the interest, make it the down payment on loans, the collateral for loans, and provide those loans to the Ukrainians. But they should really take the next step. Yes, my view would take the next step, that $300 billion. It's frozen. Seize it. Take it from those banks and provide it to the Ukrainians, both to fund the war, but also to fund the reconstruction. So yes, they should definitely do that.
And this has gotten some attention as well. Later this month, there will be a gathering of world leaders in Switzerland for a peace summit focusing on Ukraine. What do you make of the fact that President Biden is choosing to attend a campaign event over that summit? Is it a snub, like some of his critics are saying?
Gabe, it's not a snub. Vice President Harris is going to be there. Jake Sullivan is going to be there. Other members of his staff are going to be there. But you're right to point out this is an important event. This is an important summit. There will be many heads of state from the G7 nations, not the U.S., but other G7 nations sending their heads of state and others as well. Some 100 nations are going to be represented at this peace conference, not the Russians, because this is the first of 2 summits that the Ukrainians and the Swiss have in mind, which is start the process, start thinking now about what a just and lasting peace looks like, so that when eventually you get down to talking with the Russians, you'll know you've done some homework on, for example, what would just and lasting peace in terms of food security. In a just and lasting, there would be food security. The Ukrainians would be able to export their grain. Nuclear safety in a just and lasting peace, nuclear safety, both at power plants, but also on the use of on the non-use of nuclear weapons. The humanitarian part, Gabe, on returning soldiers, prisoners of war on both sides, and returning the children, the Ukrainian children that the Russians have taken from Ukraine, taking them back into Russia. Those kind of things ought to be discussed right now, even as they're getting ready for a second summit with the Russians at some future point.
So many issues to discuss as this war grinds on. Ambassador Bill Taylor, thank you so much for your expertise, as always.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.